Quite often when we listen to our favorite tracks, we get that feeling that it's almost impossible to recreate that sound. And well, of course, because they were recorded in the fancy studios with the most expensive gear, which we do not have, unfortunately. But the truth is that most music nowadays is made by regular people, just like us, quite often at home studios where some sound engineering rules are not applied 100%. And quite often music is made on some simple, affordable devices, like this SP-404. And maybe this is the real secret: simplicity and creative limitations, because when you start using Ableton or Logic, you can get lost in the endless possibilities. When it comes to hip-hop, most producers usually start with samples, because this is one of the best ways to find ideas and inspiration for your track. Okay, so the logical question is, where to find those samples? And of course, there is no simple answer to this question, like go to that website and you will find a lot of wonderful, fantastic samples. No, it doesn't work like this. I mean, of course, you can use the AI tools to create your tracks in one simple click, but on this channel and in this video, we talk about the process, and we enjoy the process of making music. There are different ways to look for samples. For example, it's the usual Spotify and Apple Music. Then there is YouTube with some rare findings. Then it's tracklib.com. This website is basically a vinyl record store where you can look for some rare samples. You can clear your samples, but this is not a paid promotion. I just enjoy using that website and I recommend you using it too. Lately, I've been hooked to sampling from the real vinyl records. I've been ordering them from discogs.com. That's a fantastic website again, and I get vinyl records delivered to me from different countries practically every week. Okay, but there is the next question. What specifically should we pay attention to while we're looking for samples? First of all, let's look at the examples of some tracks that are not perfect for sampling, and I will explain you why. Just we'll listen and have some commentary. Immediately no. This is no. Well, first of all, this is already a track. We can't do anything with it. It's too fast, it's too happy, and let's just keep digging. Okay, maybe. It's a nice intro. There is a melody. There is some space for drums, for bass. Then next. Again, this is already a track. Maybe stem separation will help us. But no, this is too 80s, no. Of course not. Because this is, first of all, it's too much of a 80s, then it's a track, we can't layer anything. Again, no, it's just too much 80s and no space for creativity. And I will show you another example of a good sample where we have space for creativity, for layering the drums and bass and everything else. I guess it's on that side, it's a single, so only 2 tracks, 1 on each side. That's a 45 RPM, so we need this adapter. And listen to the sample. It's just awesome. You immediately understand that this needs to be sampled. Wow. This is fantastic. The strings and the melody, you need to sample this. Now we select record. I will switch off the metronome because I don't want to hear it playing, and count in. I will select off 9 record. It's already recording. And the main part. Boom. I like this. Record stop. And this is it. On pad 9 I have my recorded sample, and to look at the waveform and to adjust the start end point, I go to the start and end menu. I can zoom in using the push encoder like this. I can trim the start point, but actually right now I don't care about the start because later on I'm going to chop this sample. Before that, I'm going to press menu and normalize. Now it should play louder. We exit and go to shift chop. This is the most interesting part, chopping our samples. Zoom in. And I chop like this. Currently on the SP-404 we can't make more than 16 chops, and we can't go to bank B, C and make more chops like you would do on MPC, for example. But okay, we are working with these limitations. For example, for the first time we can chop the main part and export all the chops. Then we can go to the second part, make again 16 chops and export again. This is not a big problem for me at all, but just we have to remember about the limitations. When I'm satisfied with the chops I made, I press menu, assign to pad, go to any available bank. For example, this one is available, and do it like this. And press chop. Now when I go to bank C, I have my chopped up sample. But as you can hear, the sounds are gated, and gate is right here. I can press shift and gate to switch off the gate function for the entire bank C. But right now you can hear that my samples overlap, and we absolutely do not need this. So we press Shift, Mute Groups, and we select any available mute group, for example A, and we do it like this. So all my chops are in the same mute group. Right now, they mute each other. This is what we need. First of all, I'm going to adjust the pitch of the samples, and to do this I go to Pitch Speed menu. I can do this manually to one individual sound, for example like this. But of course this will take a lot of time, so much better to use Remain, hold Remain, and you can see here it says to bank, and you can change the pitch to entire bank. Okay, so I like this setting, I'll stay at this pitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I guess the BPM is around 80, 82, 83, I guess. So Shift and tap tempo, and right here we press sub pad. I would say 82. Let's keep it at 82. So we need to record this melody pattern, and for that purpose we are going to use pattern select. In your Roland SP-404 there are two global menus. The first one is the main screen where we have our samples, these, and in pattern select it's like a new Roland, a new workflow. Right here we don't have anything because each individual pad is a sequence, as they call it on MPC, or a pattern as we call it on Roland. So we press record, any empty pad, for example number 1. The BPM, yes, is going to be 82. 2 bars, no, I guess 4 bars, the usual way, and strength or quantization 100%. So I'm going to press record, 2, 3, bank C. Exit, and let's play. Now we need some development for our track, so let's go back to pattern select and chop some new slices. Shift chop. And again on bank D we have the gate function on, so I press Shift gate off. But now they overlap, and again we press Shift mute. Group B is empty, so like this. They mute each other off. Let's record that melody. We go to pattern select again, choose any available pad, number 2, record, 2 bars, no, 4 bars, record, bank D. Exit, and let's listen. Yes, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to record the bass for the sample, and the workflow here is very interesting because in this case I have one shot of a bass from Splice. I enjoy Splice. So this is just a regular C note. I know it's C because it says in Splice. Yeah, but in Roland, in order to play it chromatically, you need to press Shift chromatic. And I know that this is in C, so 0, it's going to be C. So let's find this pattern, this melody of the bass. So I'm going to play this, and while this pattern is playing, I will try to come up with some simple bass melody. It's very loud, so the bass is going down. Shift chromatic. This, beginning, perfect fit. This, again, 2, yes, and yeah, so only 4 notes, only 4. Let's keep it simple. And in order to save your nerves and to save a lot of time, I'm going to copy this sequence, this main part and this secondary part, to other pads, because there is no simple way of editing your patterns, your notes, like on MPC or computer. So on the SP, it's much quicker to delete some patterns where you messed up with the notes and to copy them again, instead of trying to, you know, erase something. So just copy, delete, copy, delete. This is the best workflow. Record, 5, 4 bars, yes. Whew. Yes. Yes, perfect match. And now the drums, and this is also a very important part when you are building the track, because the drums give you energy, it gives you rhythm. Of course, sample, the melody is very important, but the drums, they complete the track. And for the drums, the biggest mistake that you can make is actually selecting the drums that don't fit the style. Somewhere in here I have the example. And immediately you can hear that this is not this style, it will not fit in here. But let me actually play you the pattern with these drums. Of course, this doesn't fit in our track. However, these drums would fit better into some trap genre. And for our today's track, maybe something like this. However, I have the luxury to record the drums from my sample pack that I recorded, Acoustic Boom Bap. You can get it as well, the link is in the description. I think this one will fit. And let's chop this automatically just in case. Auto mark, 16 parts. Yeah, let's do this. Menu, assign to pad. G is empty. Okay, so on bank G, shift gate and shift mute group. This is empty. Alright, the usual ceremony is done. We go to pattern select. Again, copy this melody here, copy this melody here. Record, 9, record, G. And the same drums for this pattern, record, G. I also have this shaker. But this is too long, so let's go to start end. And probably start faster. About here I want to stop. And let's make the fade out, so envelope, release. Exit, pattern record, record 9, record. I guess I don't want this in the beginning, maybe in the end, but I will delete it. So I don't need the first note of the shaker that I recorded. And in order to edit this pattern, I press record, 9, and instead of real time, this whole time we've been recording in real time mode. We press remain and it switches to TR-Rec. TR-Rec, it's basically a step sequencer. Again, remain it's real time, remain it's TR-Rec. And when I press play record, I can see my notes. For example, sub pad. And to delete it, you just press the same thing. On the 4th page we have it. On the 1st, now we don't. And now the effects of the SP-404, which is also very interesting. There are 2 bass effects, and we can separate the drums from the melody. How do we do this? We go to bass 2. Now our sample is on bank C. We hold remain, and we color all these pads green. When they are green, they are on bass 2, and this is what we need. However, you may not have this setting. Please check Shift, Effects, Settings. And on the 1st page, maybe you have this one, bass 1 and bass 2, but you need to have them in parallel. And so in this scenario, you check this effects settings that they are in parallel. You go to bass 2, remain, and you will be able to color them green. So we can apply the very famous effects of Roland. Let me play it. Maybe this. Or to our drums, bass 1, and we have the master output section. In order to access it, we go to Shift, Effects Settings again, and by default here you have bypass or 1, 2, 3. You go to 13. I guess this is the first favorite pattern, which is empty. And then you go to bass 3 and 4. On bass 3 and 4 you can have your own effects. In my case I already have 303 here, but usually by default it's bypass. So we select this. Let's try vinyl sim, by the way. In order to bypass the effect, there is a shortcut. Press this one and bus effects. Here it's on, off. It's more compressed. It's very interesting to work with the SP-404, it gives you a lot of fun, and altogether the track sounds like this. And I remind you that if you want to learn how to use these instruments professionally, MPC, Push 3 or Roland SP-404, sign up for a lesson, of course, with me. The link is in the description. And of course, there is so much more about sampling and about Roland SP-404. You can watch these videos right here, they are quite helpful. And I see you in the next videos. Bye.